Most men believe hardship is the enemy. They believe comfort is the reward. They are taught that ease is progress, that convenience is success, that suffering is something to avoid at all costs. Seneca did not believe this. He warned that comfort is far more dangerous than pain, because pain strengthens you, while comfort quietly dissolves your edge. Pain announces itself. Comfort seduces. Pain demands attention. Comfort lulls you to sleep. And by the time you realize what comfort has taken from you, your strength is already gone. You do not lose strength all at once. You lose it slowly, quietly, through ease, through convenience, through indulgence, through habits that feel harmless in the moment. Until one day, you notice that effort feels heavier, resistance feels overwhelming, and pressure feels intolerable. That is when you realize you are no longer in control of yourself. Seneca lived surrounded by wealth, power, and luxury. He was not a monk. He was not isolated. He was not removed from temptation. He lived at the very center of Roman influence. He advised emperors. He moved among elites. He had access to every comfort Rome could offer. He could have lived softly. He chose not to. Instead, he deliberately chose hardship, not because he hated pleasure, but because he understood something most men never learn. The man who needs little cannot be controlled. Seneca understood power. He understood politics. He understood influence. And he understood this truth. Any man who becomes dependent on comfort has already surrendered leverage. Because what controls your comfort controls you. If ease governs your emotions, then difficulty governs your behavior. And a man governed by circumstance is not free. In his letters from a Stoic, Seneca wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse clothing, with minimal shelter, and ask yourself, is this the condition that I feared?" This was not philosophy. This was not metaphor. This was training. This was rehearsal. This was psychological armor. Seneca understood that fear survives only in imagination. What we avoid grows larger. What we face shrinks. So he faced discomfort on purpose before life forced it upon him. Seneca saw what happens to men who grow accustomed to ease. They grow dependent. They grow fragile. They mistake convenience for security. They mistake pleasure for stability. And when that convenience is removed, they panic. Not because the situation is unbearable, but because they never trained to bear it. Comfort weakens men in 3 ways. First, it creates dependence. When you require constant ease, constant stimulation, constant entertainment, constant reassurance, you surrender leverage over your own emotions. Your mood becomes conditional. Your confidence becomes situational. Your peace becomes fragile. You begin to need the world to cooperate in order to remain steady. That is weakness. Second, comfort breeds fear. The more you rely on pleasure, the more terrified you become of losing it. Men who live comfortably fear discomfort more than dishonor. They avoid challenge. They avoid confrontation. They avoid responsibility. Not because they are incapable, but because they have trained themselves to seek safety. And safety never builds strength. Third, comfort erodes discipline. Discipline requires resistance. It requires friction. It requires effort without immediate reward. Remove resistance, and discipline atrophies, just like a muscle that is never challenged. Seneca understood this, which is why he practiced something radical: voluntary hardship. He chose discomfort before life imposed it. He rehearsed poverty. He rehearsed hunger. He rehearsed cold. He rehearsed simplicity. He rehearsed boredom, so that when life inevitably turned harsh, it could not shock him. It could not dominate him. It could not break him. This is the Stoic advantage. The Stoic does not wait for adversity. He anticipates it. He prepares for it. He removes its power before it arrives. Modern men misunderstand this. They believe discipline means punishment. They believe hardship means suffering. They believe discomfort means something is wrong. Seneca believed the opposite. Voluntary hardship is not self-harm. It is self-command. It teaches your nervous system that discomfort is survivable. That effort will not destroy you. That hunger will not kill you. That silence will not undo you. Fear survives only in the unknown. Once discomfort becomes familiar, fear dissolves. Seneca was not trying to be miserable. He was trying to be free, free from fear of loss, free from dependency, free from emotional fragility, free from manipulation. When you deliberately remove comfort, something happens. Your mind recalibrates. Your nervous system stabilizes. Your confidence deepens. You realize, I can endure more than I thought. I need far less than I believed. I am not as fragile as I feared. And with that realization, confidence returns. Not loud confidence, not performative confidence, but quiet certainty. The kind of confidence that does not need approval. Let me make this practical. Seneca's principle is not ancient. It is timeless. It applies today more than ever. You might choose cold exposure, not because it is fashionable, but because it trains your nervous system to remain calm under stress. You enter discomfort by choice. You remain steady by discipline. You might choose fasting, not to punish your body, but to break psychological dependence on constant consumption, to teach your mind that hunger does not command you. You might choose silence. No music, no podcasts, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. Because a man who cannot sit in silence cannot lead himself. You might choose digital restraint, turning off what numbs you, refusing to escape discomfort through stimulation. You might choose the harder task first, the difficult conversation, the avoided responsibility, the thing you keep postponing. Each act sends the same message to your mind. I am in control, not circumstances, not comfort, not impulse. You. Seneca warned that men who avoid hardship are shocked by it when it arrives. They panic. They complain. They blame. They demand fairness from a world that never promised it. The Stoic does none of this because he has already met discomfort on his own terms. This is where fear disappears. When you no longer fear discomfort, you cannot be intimidated. When you no longer fear loss, you cannot be manipulated. When you no longer fear effort, you become dangerous, in the best sense of the word. Seneca wrote, "He who has learned to endure will not fear what may befall him." This is the essence of Stoic strength, not bravado, not aggression, not domination of others, but mastery of self. Modern culture sells comfort as success. It tells men to avoid struggle, to remove friction, to numb discomfort. Seneca would call that a trap. A soft life produces brittle men, men who break under pressure, men who collapse when challenged, men who expect ease from a world that respects strength. The Stoic chooses differently. He chooses difficulty, not because he is broken, but because he refuses to be. If you want strength that lasts, do not wait for adversity to shape you. Shape yourself first. Remove one comfort this week, just one, and observe what happens. You will not weaken, you will sharpen. The Stoic does not seek pain. He seeks mastery. And mastery begins the moment you stop needing life to be easy. Choose hard, so life cannot break you.